Hello everyone, KingslayerKoshy, and welcome back to Plants vs. Zombies at night. And now we're going to test out our new toy, mushrooms. They're cheap as hell. They're free. Plant them whenever you get the chance. And go nuts. In terms of zombies that we're going to be facing here, for right now, you're going to be seeing the newspaper zombies, who oddly enough don't seem very harmful. They just seem like they're minding their own business, just reading their newspapers, and then you break them, and then they just start running because you ruined they were just reading. So it begs the question, why the hell walk toward my house of all places? But you know, whatever. But anyways, in nighttime stages, things are a little bit more difficult in the sense that getting sun is impossible in nighttime stages. You have to rely entirely on sunflowers. Fortunately, you get just enough sun so that you can actually at least get one sunflower. But then after that, you're kind of on your own. The thing with these mushrooms, though, is that they're cheap, but their range is limited. They can only shoot from 2 to 3 squares away, I believe. And do about as much damage as a pea shooter. They're not particularly useful. There's definitely better shrooms to get. There's one later down in a couple of levels later. I think it's... Yeah, after the 3rd level, there's a shroom that we'll get that's gonna replace pretty much the these mini shrooms for the time being. I still like taking them during the nighttime levels because they're free mushrooms and you can just replace them without too much hesitation, because since they're free, they're pretty much irreplaceable. You can place them as much as you want. They have a pretty high regeneration rate, and it's overall pretty easy. So what I'm going to basically do is just make 2 rows of mushrooms or mini shrooms, and then afterwards save up money to try and get a row of repeaters. And you're probably asking yourself, what the hell is up with those tombstones? Well, when we get to the final wave of the day, you'll see. It's usually when the final wave of the day, final wave of the level kicks in, is when the tombstone effect starts to kick in. But it's annoying for 2 reasons. One is the obvious one, which is you can't plant anything on that space. And the other is you're going to be is an effect that's not going to obviously take effect until the end of the day. So we're getting close to the end of the level, so when we get to the end of the level, we'll see the effect take place. In moments. Any day now. Another thing that sucks about having these mini mushrooms is that it takes forever for these levels. Makes the levels feel like go by a lot longer because it takes forever for the zombies to reach their range. But yeah, zombies generate from the tombstones that are in that said areas. So zombies appear, and you gotta deal with another wave of zombies that can potentially be very close to you. So yeah, there's a cherry bomb. There's a dead newspaper reading zombie. And then we get the sun shrooms, which will immediately replace the sunflowers because these are cheaper and more efficient. Okay, so he's commenting something about the money, and as you guys probably can see, I've been collecting a little bit of coins recently throughout some of the levels. I haven't really been giving too much comment on those because there hasn't really been much for us to really do with said coins yet. Eventually we will get to do something with them, but for right now we're just waiting around. But yeah, the sun shrooms are cheaper and give off only 15 sun, but over time they will grow up to be big enough to give off 50 sun like regular sunflowers. So overall, you get more bang for your buck with these sun shrooms. It just takes a little bit of time, if you're willing to put in the time, of course. And in terms of the strategy, I do the same strategies I did before. 2 rows of sun shrooms, 2 rows of mini shrooms, and a whole row of repeaters in the back line to shoot everyone out. God, I wish this was later in the game when things are more interesting, because right now, things are still not interesting and there's only so many zombies walking on the screen. These first 2 levels are just an introduction to the day and nighttime levels. Eventually, we will get to more interesting levels. I promise you guys, it's gonna get more interesting, but just give it a little time. I think by level 3 is when things start to get more interesting. Anyways, question I want to ask is, how the hell did they get friggin', the question I want to ask is, how did they get friggin', tombstones in my front lawn? Who's the asshole that decided to dig graves for all these zombies using the front lawn? I'm gonna find him and beat him up. Help myself. Ugh. Anyways, as you can see, the sun shrooms, enough time's passed, they're starting to give me more sun. Just keep shooting, and eventually I will get every row filled in with repeaters, and eventually this level will pretty much play out the same as the other level. Not much to say. This first half isn't anything spectacular. Just want to check to make sure of one thing. Yeah, so it's only during the final wave that those tombstones will summon zombies in said locations. But for right now, yeah! Attack my minions. can't imagine I'm starting to just replace the mini shrooms with repeaters because I just want this to go faster, and then eventually I'm starting to get more than enough sun thanks to the sun shrooms. I can afford to do that. So, with every 200 sun I get, I sacrifice one mini shroom in order to get a repeater. And there I think about planting a potato mine, only to realize that it's probably not gonna be ready by the time the bucket head gets there. Yeah, and the unique thing about the newspaper zombies is that after you destroy their newspaper, they get faster. So be careful for that. Yeah, so there you go. I believe, yeah, that's fine way it looks like. So I'm just letting loose all the cherry bombs and everything in the kitchen sink just to kill the zombies, and this shouldn't last long. And there we go. And this is the shroom that I was just talking about that believes in replaces the mini shroom. The fume shroom. Has a pretty big range and can blast your screen doors. As you can tell by... And with that next interruption, I'm back. Sorry, my mom's interrupting me. Other things, usual routine. New medication for my seizures, which hopefully will replace my original prescriptions. But nothing too important for you guys to know about. But anyways, yep. Fume shrooms. One of the most valuable shrooms in the game, if only because they're long range. Very good use for nighttime. Especially for a specific reason, but I won't be able to get to that until probably after I finish the main campaign. Anyways, doing the usual routine, planting mini shrooms because they're free. And setting up the sun shrooms for the eventual sun harvest. Artificial solar power. You know, that's something. Congratulations. So, we've achieved artificial solar power in the palm of our hands. All thanks to a bunch of random plants. And here's the fume shroom in action. Doesn't look like much because I just placed it in very close proximity to that one zombie, but believe me when I say it's actually good. It has a much longer range than the mini shroom, Not as long as the regular shooters and eventual pults that we're gonna get. But it's gonna be as good as we're gonna get for the time being. And eventually I start slowly replacing all the mini shrooms with fume shrooms. And they especially work for the screen doors. Because it goes straight through the screen and hits the zombie. And in a bit of time, he's gonna die. There you go, there you go. There we go, the walnuts, and yep, look at that range. And now my snipers are starting to pick up, starting to level up, and I'm starting to prepare my fume shroom. And I'm just starting to prepare the fume shrooms to pretty much extinguish the zombies. High pressurized poison. That's gotta hurt. You know, I gotta think about it. High pressurized poison. That's gotta hurt. If it was a regular human, of course, they'd probably vapor. Dude, that's just overkill at that point. At that point, that's probably just overkill, but yep, we're at the final wave. Zombies are coming, and the zombies are eating my plants. And eventually, there we go. And until those two zombies are gone, we get a pretty important plant, for at least the nighttime anyway. And I'll talk about that next time.